Bullet Club.
Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time with us. This is Leanne Presents. I'm your host for this video, Leanne, and I'm joined as always by Alan, my co-host and husband. Yeah. As you've seen from the title card, we're here with our reactions to AEW x NJPW Forbidden Door, which aired on the 30th of June 2024. So if you haven't seen our videos before, we're basically reacting to it, so it's going to be spoiler heavy, so if you're planning to watch the event and haven't already, we'd advise you to watch that first.
I just want to make it thing as well that reactions are not reviews. We're not reviewers. We're just giving our reactions to the event.
Our initial thoughts.
Yeah.
It's very subjective, essentially.
Just wanted to sort of put that in, because some people might be like, oh, they're going to review it.
Well, if some people maybe agree with our opinions and would class it, but we don't class it as a review.
Well, a review would be like percentages and stars and numbers and grades.
Yeah, it's
and
like
rating
kind of events and that. We're just like say whether we liked it or not. It's all an opinion. We did do our predictions for this event, which we'll put a link to somewhere on the screen, because one of the fun things that we like to do is decide who we think's going to win a match, and then we'll compare how we did as we go along. Okay, so should we get started?
Yep.
0 Hour had a whopping 5 matches for a 0 hour is insane, including one match that we had no idea was happening, which is this first match of Serpentico versus Kyle Fletcher. So we had no expectations about this match, no predictions for it, because we honestly did not know it was happening.
It looks like it's just like a bonus match. You just kind of went, yeah, why not?
Throw it in.
Yeah, it was weird because I got home and you'd already sort of paused the stream on the match ready, and I was like, Serpentico? What? Hang on.
Looking back through our notes, trying to figure out where Serpentico came in.
I was like, no, absolutely not. There's something gone wrong with one of the streams somewhere. Like, have they crossed it? And I was like, hang on a minute. No, it can't be, because this is the right graphics and whatnot for this year. So it's absolutely not. No, it is right. Yeah.
But yeah, fine. It was a good match.
It was right. Yeah.
It was quite quick, but it was a great opener to the show. I guess partly having this, if they decided to check this match in, putting it first on 0 hour, it was halfway through 0 hour, you still got people arriving, so they're not missing a match that they expected to happen. So this is fine. The crowd got invested pretty quick, which is what you want. It's a long show, so getting them in the mood straight away.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock. Obviously, Kyle Fletcher is the former Ring of Honor TV World Champion. He lost it last week on Ring of Honor. We don't watch Ring of Honor. We haven't got time to watch Ring of Honor. But I was like, oh, wait, where's his belt? And then they were like, here's the former champion. And I'm like, oh, so that happened. Yeah. I couldn't even tell you who won it off him.
I know. They did do a little recap, but I can't remember what it was about, really.
I think we were getting our food sort of sorted out.
Yeah, but they did mention him losing the title very recently.
Look it up, actually.
Yeah, why not? So the finish of this match, Kyle Fletcher hits a turnbuckle brain buster on Serpentico and pins him to win. Yep. What a finish, brutal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Kyle Fletcher's no one to be slept on. He's really good.
Definitely. And Serpentico's just brilliant. All right, so our next...
Atlantis Junior.
There we go. Our next match on 0 hour was House of Black versus Private Party versus Gabe Kidd and Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly and Tomohiro Ishii.
Yep.
Yeah. We were expecting this match. That first one's the only one we didn't know about, so we good. Just what struck me in this match was the range of wrestling styles and experience levels as well.
Yeah.
So you had a bit of everything, every style there, and you had veterans against, and no one's green but less experienced guys. It was just a joy to watch. I think this one. Gabe
Kidd's probably the least experienced of this, and he's the current open weight, never open weight. Is it never open weight or strong open weight champion? I think it's strong on weight because he won it from Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, so no one to sleep on. It was a bit blink and you miss it, this one. But what a one to watch. I think it's the showcase of so many great talents. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to this one?
Constant chaos, and it was great to see the House of Black dominating.
Oh, yes. They were dominant throughout, which takes us nicely to the finish. Brody King hits some kind of bomb. I don't think anyone knew what it was. It was like adapted and flipped around and all sorts. I really should have looked up who got pinned.
It's on a private party, wasn't it?
It was one of Private Party, but I'm not sure who it was thinking back.
I want to say Cassidy, but I'm not 100% on that.
I think it was. I'm trying to remember the hairstyles. But what kind of struck me, so Brody King gets the pin and wins for House of Black. But you've got Malachi Black at the corner, just in like a guard stance. He's looking around. He's like, no one's going to stop this pin. Yeah. That was really effectively done. He's just like prowling on the corner, just waiting for anyone to dare to interfere. Good stuff.
In terms of predictions, this was added into our predictions description later on after our video, because obviously it was announced post Rampage Collision, whenever it got announced, and we both predicted the House of Black to win, and the House of Black won.
Yay! Starting off strong.
I like to think that puts the House of Black, the Kings of the Black Throne. I want to kind of hope that puts them in contention for the tag titles at some point.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Need more House of Black, more Kings of the Black Throne.
Oh yes. Well, it will be House of Black again once Buddy Matthews returns.
Yes. So
after getting married.
So Kings is the two of them. Yeah. Specifically.
Yeah. Well, Buddy Matthews recently got married to his longtime girlfriend, Rhea Ripley.
That's so exciting. I love it. I love it. Okay, next match. So we've got our first women's match. This is Kris Statlander teaming with Momo Watanabe versus Willow Nightingale, who's teaming with Tam Nakano.
Yeah.
It is a pretty standard match. I think it's quite hard to follow the match that came before, that tag team match extravaganza.
I feel this match probably should have opened the show.
Maybe. There wasn't anything like special, although there's some great talents in the ring, can't deny that.
Yeah.
I quite liked that the rivalry between Statlander and Willow was very present.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like overstated. It didn't take over the match.
No.
It was just like in the background, having a little effect sometimes when they happen to be in the ring together. But it didn't become the whole story of the match, which I think was a good choice to make.
Yeah.
You?
I did think this was a bit of a slow start.
Yeah.
It seemed that when Momo was facing against Willow or Tam was facing against Statlander, it kind of felt a bit not gelling well.
Yes, they didn't quite have that chemistry.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one that picked up on that. Yeah, but then when it was Tam versus Momo, they were going for it.
Yeah, and it was like similarly Kris versus Willow. They always have great chemistry.
That kind of took me out of it quite a bit.
Yeah,
if I'm
I
honest.
get that. It didn't seem balanced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I get what you mean.
It's annoying. Annoying is probably not the right word. It took me out of it, and it was like, all right.
It sort of feels like they would have been better having 2 singles matches.
Yeah.
Rather than mixing them together.
Yeah. Like Willow would have been like, I've picked someone from Stardom to fight you, and Willow Kris Statlander could have done the same, and that could have been that.
Instead of it was great to see Momo and Tam in action.
Yeah. Yeah, the first time I've seen either of these women, so
so definitely, it's great to show the women of Stardom and they're all women in Stardom, but
obviously Kris Statlander and Willow have had that kind of rivalry for the last month or so, and they're in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. I do feel that like they started quite well, like when Willow would tag in, Statlander would tag out, and then when Willow would tag out, Statlander would tag in, and that kind of thing. But I do feel that they really shouldn't have had much in the way of physical altercation between each other during this match, but there was quite a bit of it.
Yeah,
I feel that there shouldn't have been, but I think because of the fact that the Stardom girls couldn't, so for some reason didn't gel well with Statlander and Willow, I think that they had to, but it's a bit of a shame because I think it would have been better to try and tease it until Dynamite.
Yeah.
When they actually take each other on one-on-one.
Yeah, keep it under wraps until then.
Yeah.
The finish, I think, was a good shout, though. We had Tam hits Momo with a hammerlock German suplex and pins her to win. I did think it was a good idea to not have Willow or Kris involved in the finish. Because
one of them looks weak,
Yeah, we don't want to give either one a boost in their momentum leading into their actual match.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it was a good finish.
In terms of predictions, I got that one correct. You did not.
Sad. I am sad.
And I think I stated why in the prediction, so I'm not going to go
there. Okay. Cure. On to the next one then. Yep. We have Mariah May versus Saraya, and this is a first round Owen tournament match.
Do you mean a quarterfinals match?
It's apparently the same. I had a whole rant about it when the show was on.
That's why I brought that up. Yeah, that's why I brought that up.
I won't go into it. It's the same thing. Everything's fine. Interchangeable. So talk about slow matches.
Yeah.
I guess an interesting bit. Mariah is accompanied by Toni Storm.
Yes, I wasn't expecting that.
So we talked in our predictions about, and we'll talk later as well about the rivalries around there, and we weren't sure who was going to accompany Mariah to the ring, if anyone, but it is Toni. Yes, so even after the last match, the Willow and Statlander match, this felt slow.
Yeah. I'm wondering how, and it's going to sound really bad, but I'm wondering how cleared Saraya actually is.
Yeah.
Like, has she been told not to take any high impact stuff?
I
think maybe that's why she doesn't wrestle much.
Yeah, and Mariah May is good. We've seen that. We've seen her grow, and we did talk about that before as well.
Yeah.
We don't see much Saraya action.
I can't remember the last time I saw her Saraya match. It was probably a tag match.
And when she is in a match, it's a bit of a showpiece, but
I want to say it was a 6-woman tag on Dynamite, maybe 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, so
because it was Mina, Toni, and Mariah May versus Saraya, Harley Cameron, and Anna Jay. And I don't think Saraya saw much in-ring action.
No, it's rarely one-on-one, and this is, I don't know, this probably shows why, perhaps.
Yeah.
It wasn't an awful match.
No.
It's just the pace felt like it didn't belong here.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I mean, if anything, this did show that Mariah May carried it for the most part, and it does show that she is really getting into a flow, I guess is the way I want to put it.
I hope that continues. We have some great storyline stuff coming up.
I have theories.
Ooh. So the finish... It's hard to know what to say. I just put down Mariah gets a really sneaky pin on Saraya, bridging up. I think Saraya tried to bridge a pin for her, backfired, and then, Mariah pins Saraya with a bridge right out of nowhere and wins. So she's advancing to the semi-finals.
With no one interfering.
Yeah, there was a very brief, almost distraction interference from... What's her face?
Harley Cameron.
Yeah, Harley Cameron. Sorry, I should have written that name down. Yeah, but it was inconsequential, is what I wrote down. That it was a bit of a distraction, but it didn't actually achieve anything. So which is a bit unusual for Saraya, I'd say, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of surmised that either Toni Storm or Mina Shirakawa would end up inadvertently costing Mariah this match. Or at least that's the way I thought it was going to go down. So in terms of predictions, I got that one incorrect. The angle than correct.
Back on an even keel.
Yeah, for now. Let's see how we go. See how we go down the line. I expected Saraya to sort of get further, but I'm glad that she didn't. I think I mentioned in the prediction I didn't want to see Saraya win it. Yeah. And I'm glad she didn't.
And maybe there is something going on with her, the not being able to have.
There has to be. There has to be.
Because she is sort of a favourite for a lot of people. So it's kind of unusual that she's not being pushed in this tournament, really. But I'm sure we'll find out something, maybe. Or maybe we never will.
We probably never will.
So at the end of this match, Toni walks with Mariah back up to the top of the ramp and is raising her arm when out comes
Mina
Shirakawa, who very quite forcefully raises the other arm.
Yeah. And
this does lead to a quite intense face-off between Toni and Mina, with poor Mariah stuck in the middle again. It's not knowing what to do or who to choose. There we go. So we've got our last 0-hour match of 5. It's insane. This is Titan, Hiromu Takahashi, and Yota Tsuji versus the Lucha Brothers and Mistico.
So you're just trying to get away from saying Los Ingobernables de Japón, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm never going to say it again.
Just say LIJ.
LIJ. But I even have trouble just remembering what the acronym is. I'll get used to it, I'm sure. I'm going to write it down. The more I write something down, the more likely I am to remember it. L-I-J.
And then when we come around to the next Forbidden Door, you'll have forgotten anyway.
Probably. This is fine. This is a real showcase match.
Yeah.
Very much enjoyed this one. It's one to watch. A lot of luchadors. 4.
4 is the number.
4 is the number.
But that's the 66% of the match is a luchador.
66 luchador. 66%, not 66 luchadors.
No, yeah.
And
66 luchadors sitting on a wall.
Oh, we're not going there.
No.
We'll be here for ages.
Let's not.
I think this is a great match to have at the end of 0 Hour to lead into the main show. It really sort of, especially after having a couple of slow matches, it pumps back up that excitement, gets everyone on their feet. It's a good placement for it.
Yeah.
The only better placement would be on the main show.
Yeah, this would have been interchangeable, I think, with the 4-way tag.
Yeah,
the 4-way tag could have done the same thing in this spot.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So I did write down about Titan having one heck of a kicking foot on him.
Oh, yeah.
He kicked Ray Fenix and they flipped over and folded in half and ended up in a puddle.
That was great.
I can't even describe it, so might be one to, if you're not watching the show, go and find that clip.
Well, the 0 Hour is on YouTube. It's free.
It is, yes. Watch it. At least this match and the 4-way tag.
The 4-way, yeah.
Yeah, excellent. All these guys are great. You got anything to comment on?
I think that in terms of partners for the Lucha Bros, whilst Mistico is a legend, he is a great talent. They kind of ran rings around him a little bit. He's probably the slowest person in this match.
Probably.
When you look at it. And
he's a very different sort of style.
Yeah. You've got Ray Fenix and Penta doing all this wacky, flippy stuff. You've got Titan doing all this flippy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Even Tsuji and Hiromu are doing their sort of high impact stuff. And Mistico's not really that high impact.
Mm-hmm.
He'll jump on the ropes and then he'll wait. And then he'll jump back off. And it just feels quite clunky.
Yeah.
And that's not to take anything away from Mistico because he is a hell of a talent. Mm-hmm. But I just feel that they probably would have been better suited putting someone else in this position in my mind.
Yeah. No, I get that. The Lucha Bros can do a lot of tandem stuff. And with the right person, they can include that person in their tandem stuff. And there wasn't much 3-person stuff happening. I'm saying stuff too much.
I know Mistico used to be in WWE, but I'm pretty sure he was. I need to try and figure out what his name was back there. I don't think I think it was Sin Cara, but I don't think it is Sin Cara. No. Anyway, carry on.
But I really enjoyed watching Mistico and all the others in this match. It's
Oh, it is Sin Cara, yeah. It was Sin Cara in WWE.
There we go. I did enjoy it very much.
Yeah, it was good, as I say, and this and obviously the other guys all had to shine. Lucha Bros always shine. LIJ always shine. You know, they're the fantastic faction, LIJ.
Yeah. So would Mistico been better to have a 1-on-1 match instead?
I think so. Yeah. Or he could have been placed in with Jericho.
Ooh.
It was a learning tree against Hook, Shibata, and Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a better fit for that.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Cobb could have had his a singles match.
Yeah.
But I don't book the show. Tony Khan books the show. But yeah, I just think that I feel that the Lucha Bros could have probably had someone a bit more to their style. Because none of the other team are heavy hitters. They're all kind of fast movers for the most part.
No, definitely.
So I feel that Mistico is a bit of a misstep almost.
So speaking of Mistico then, into the finish. So he does some spinny stuff around Titan, which ends up in an armbar. It's one of those things where you have no idea who's actually in control of the move, so you just watch to where it ends, and it ended with Mistico having Titan in an armbar.
Yeah.
And then Titan taps out after a minute. So Lucha Bros and Mistico win.
And again, it's you're doing luchador, you're doing flippy stuff. You don't really expect it to culminate in an armbar.
No.
You know, and it's like.
But it was like a flippy spinny armbar.
Well, he did one
was...
flip around. He did a head scissors spin run twice into the armbar, I think.
Yeah.
It's not. You look at the stuff that Titan, Ray Fenix, and Penta are doing, and it's like, yeah, okay.
Not a weak wrestler, but maybe the weak link.
Yeah, I think so. In terms of predictions, we both got that one correct.
Woo! Yay. So that brings us on to Forbidden Door in its entirety, which also has more than 5 matches.
Yeah, just a few. There's 10, I think.
So many matches.
Yeah, 10.
Oh. So, first one, we've got Hechicero versus MJF. What a start.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting MJF to be first on the card.
I don't know. I had a feling he would. I don't know why. Something was kind of leading into it. I was like, it's probably going to be MJF.
Your intuition. This was a really interesting match. MJF's using all his old tricks. He's doing the strut thing, which he does, eye poking and some biting as well.
Did he eye poke or did he?
He did do an eye poke.
He did, okay.
Not in the place.
Yeah,
where
that's right.
He didn't eye poke following a handshake. It was later.
Yeah, he did a kick with a handshake. He did the biting in the corner thing.
Hechicero is a beast. He's probably the most Bane-like luchador that I remember seeing.
Oh, there we go. Look, right?
The costume.
Interchange Mistico and Hechicero. There you go.
Yeah, that'd be
perfect.
Cool. So he's more like the bruiser type.
Yeah. But he can still flip and fly and do all this wacky stuff and technical stuff, and it's like
it's mental. He's an animal, crazy. A really good opening match. Everyone loves MJF, so
he's our scumbag.
For reals. Anything else you want to comment on this one?
No, I mean, as you say, Hechicero, he looked really strong against MJF, considering it was MJF his opponent. You know, former longest running AEW World Champion of all time. Yeah, I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was a really good opener. It was a really good way to get that crowd into it as well, because obviously MJF's sort of home turf.
Yeah, of course, it's home turf. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So talking of hometown guys. MJF hits a Panama Sunrise on Hechicero, followed by a sheer drop brainbuster, and pins him to win.
I think the commentary team were having fun calling it a Long Island Sunrise.
Long Island Sunrise. They had various different names they were trying to give it, I think.
When he did that, I did wonder if Adam Cole was going to turn up.
Ooh, yes.
But he's probably just still recovering after being a tap MJF at Dynasty last month.
Serves him right.
Yeah. Cool. In terms of predictions, we both predicted MJF to win because who would bet against MJF, right?
Only an idiot.
In his hometown as well.
Crazy people. Yep. Some people did.
Yep. I mean, it would have been nice to see Hechicero win, and then that would have been a shocker, but yeah.
Maybe another time.
I mean, Hechicero is great. I want to see more Hechicero.
It's really annoying not having enough time to watch other promotions, and then you see all these amazing people, and you're like, I don't want to see more.
I do my best I can to keep up with New Japan. I'm a few weeks behind at the moment.
Yeah, so. You just show me clips of like people that I might know kind of things, which is pretty cool. All right, next one. We have the Acclaimed and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus the Elite.
Scissor Ace.
Scissor Ace, yes. That's what they announce him to the ring as Scissor Ace.
Jesus.
This is great.
Hiroshi, what are you doing? It's the president of New Japan, for God's sake.
So we know AEW doesn't put much, if any, filler in their pay-per-views.
It's quite literally boom, 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 boom.
The only thing they do between matches, they do a recap video. This recap video was a little bit one-sided. I think it might have been written by the Elite, maybe.
What makes you say that?
You were talking about the Acclaimed as if they were the worst humans alive.
What, they're not?
I thought it was really well done because it's like they just carrying on as normal. They got the recap videos, and this one started off with like the Elite have done this, and this is like the build up, and then the Acclaimed, those scumbags. It was just really well done.
Scissor scum.
Funny. Scissor scum.
It's the scum that gets trapped in the scissors when you don't clean them.
And then I guess the comeback to that was Max Caster's rap. It was so close to being back on form. There were a total of 0 dick jokes. There was reference to
female dog
stuff.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
So they were talking about
Biden
and all this. So it was like relevant pop culture, not pop culture, current affairs, local stuff he's talking about, which is kind of what those raps should be. You want those moments where the crowd's like going, oh, because it's
I know what he's talking about.
Related to something they know that is happening now. There was a section where he did say the B word an awful lot.
It's fine. It's
every other word.
Yeah. I mean, it's Akada does the thing where he's like, blah, 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 blah. bitch.
True, yeah. So it does kind of fit, but it made the rap extra long.
And I liken it to the Limp Bizkit song. I can't remember what the name of the song is on my head, but he drops the F-bomb, and it's like up until a point in the song, he's like, and if I say that word 2 more times, that's 49 Fs in this song.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt like that. I was like, oh, is he trying to Fred Durst it?
Maybe.
With the word bitch instead of the F-bomb.
Yeah. So I'm kind of hoping this is going back up for them.
I wouldn't hold your breath.
I sort of get the feeling it was an extra effort because it's a pay-per-view, which is fine. If he keeps them for pay-per-views now, I think that's probably is better than just doing dick jokes every week.
So that's gotten old very quick.
Oh, so it was the second one where it was the young cucks. The second rap that he put that in, I was like, I'm done. I'm over it. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
But anyway, on to the actual match. It was really fun.
Yes.
I very much enjoyed this. Particularly just the cockiness of the Elite. I know we're talking about dig jokes, but what else? It's just the attitude, how it just oozes out of them. It just makes everything. You just want to hate them, but you love to hate them. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah. I don't hate them. I love them. I think they're fantastic. I'm the Elite for life.
Yeah, you are. You very much are. But you appreciate
Do you know why?
the heelness.
It's because I recognize talent when I see it.
You gotta respect Matthew and Nicholas Jackson.
Hell yes. And Okada. Don't forget Okada.
Okada's so good. What did I say? It looks like he's just disgusted all the time.
Yeah.
Got that face down.
He does.
I
think he practices it in the mirror.
At you.
He's like in the mirror at home, and he's like.
It fits perfectly with the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Acclaimed they're great in the ring.
Yeah.
They've got some good moves.
Yeah.
Can't deny that. And Tanahashi, excellent.
Former, was it 8-time former World IWGP Heavyweight Champ?
Crazy. So yeah, it was really good. I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Anything you got to add before
I love the bit where I think it was Nicholas grabs the headphones from the Acclaimed and he puts it on and he's messing around in the ring as if he's having a little dance. And Okada's just in the background and he's just like like he's DJing, and I thought that was the funniest thing in that match that that was just so funny just to see Okada doing that, and it's like that is so out of his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And he's just nailing it. He's crushing it, you know, and I just thought that was hilarious. I thought it was brilliant.
So good.
Yeah. No, I thought it was a really good match. I think that I feel that there wasn't enough of Tanahashi versus Okada. Yeah. They teased it and teased it and teased it. When it did, it was a bit like, oh, is that it?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I agree with
that. All right,
that.
okay. Maybe they're building up to something, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, I kind of feel like there could have been a bit more of that.
Yeah, that's fair. Completely agree. So, after a bit of back and forth between Okada and Tanahashi, Okada hits the Rainmaker and pins Tanahashi, which is a win for the Acclaimed.
No,
the Elite. Sorry, I'm looking at
Excuse
my
me
notes
while
wrong.
I slap my wife, folks.
It's a win for the Elite. I was like reading it and saying it and getting very confused.
Dare you? I'm about to walk off this video. Unprofessional. Can you see this? You're going to get us fined by our EVPs. For God's sake.
I respect Matthew and Nicholas Jackson.
In terms of predictions, we both predicted the Elite to win and we both got that correct.
Awesome.
I think Rags is all Elite as well. There he is.
Rags
Bye, Rags.
Is walking past. You won't even know.
He's somberly walking past.
He's had a rough time of it.
Oh, he's good boy.
Yeah. Okay, then on to the next match. We have Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi in another opening round Owen Hart tournament match. Quarterfinal. Hey.
We have a ceiling.
They were saying opening round. I only wrote it down as opening round. That's what they were calling it.
I know.
And then I was getting annoyed. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. So, Bryan Danielson's neck is all taped up.
Yep.
And the more the match goes on, the more fragile he seems.
Brittle Bryan.
Pretty much. It was almost to the point where it was a bit rough to watch, but...
Oh, I loved every minute of it.
It was great. But
it's
it was
come on, Shingo, drop him on his head again.
You could feel the pain, and how much of that is genuine.
Yeah. There was an interview or something with Bryan Danielson. He said his neck's not great heading into the window. I don't know if that was a kayfabe interview or if it was a shoot comment. I don't know.
The way he looked at the end of the match, I could totally believe if it's real, because he looked rough.
Yeah,
real rough. And it made me wonder, like, if he regrets saying a final year instead of just saying a final match.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see. This was a really technical match, which you'd expect from Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
I imagine Shingo Takagi's technical as well, isn't he?
He's very technical, but he also has a couple of hard hitting, like the pumping bomber when he hits it. It's like wham, and he's just like, "Oh crap, where'd that come from?" So he's got some very quick but powerful offense as well.
It's really a good mixture to have, especially against Bryan Danielson.
Especially a man of his size as well. He's a big lad.
Yes. So he's got the answers to a lot of Danielson's technical stuff, and then can just wreck him.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's great. I mean, Bryan Danielson is a talent. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, love him or hate him. Yeah, I mean, I'd prefer him in AEW over WWE. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
But yeah, no, he's definitely one of the best way to do it.
I really hope that he isn't declining as fast as it looked in this match, and that he can see out his final year the way he wants to. So it'd just be heartbreaking if
I think
anything would stop that.
It'll probably be toward like the after All In or just about there. I think that's where the declaration was made. Sort of that'll be his the end of his year. So whether or not he's doing it to the end of 2024 or whether it's the end of a calendar year from that inception point, I don't know.
I know what you mean, like the end of a cycle kind of
thing.
Yeah. But I have no doubt if there is any truth to the injury, he's doing everything he can to keep himself as healthy as possible and look after himself. So hopefully it's all good. Yep. I really enjoyed this match. Anything you've got before we go to the finish?
Pretty much everything I expected. Yeah. It's superb.
It's funny how, like, it's pretty much what I expected. Could be very positive or very negative.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there was only one negative thing about it, and we'll get to that in a second.
Okay. So the finish, Bryan Danielson has another armbar, surprisingly, on Shingo Takagi.
He's a one-trick pony.
Which he has on for a little bit, and you can't really see what's happening so much. I think you see Takagi's arm sort of go to his side, the free arm.
The other one's sort of underneath him.
Yeah, and then the ref calls for the bell and ends the match.
The commentators were surmising it was a verbal submission.
Yes. So the way you could see it, you couldn't see a physical tap at all. I don't think it would have been possible. So it was either a verbal tap or referee stoppage. But yeah, the commentators sort of landed on verbal.
Yeah.
Not that they had any evidence.
No. Well, it's surmised. I don't think they said it was. I think they said that must have been or that might have been.
It was that's where they were leaning.
Yeah, it was kind of a surmising as opposed to a confirmation.
Yeah.
In terms of predictions, you got that one correct. That was my desired result. I wanted Shingo Takagi to win that so badly. Unfortunately, I didn't, so I take the bye on that one.
Cool. That's fair. Okie dokie. At this point, it's a bit early, but I think we need a little break. So,
okie dokie.
My favorite segment, the inside of pay-per-view, and signs of the pay-per-view. There were signs. There wasn't a huge amount, and some of them you can't see because of the camera work, but that's fine. So I picked out my top 3 signs of this pay-per-view. In third place, MJF is the Atari Jaguar of wrestling. I only partly understand this reference, and I can't tell if it's a compliment or an insult.
It depends on who you ask.
Let us know in the comments if you had an Atari Jaguar, and was it any good?
I mean, I liken it to MJF is the Switch of wrestling. So is the Switch a good console or is it a bad console? Depends on who you ask.
Depends what type of gamer you are.
Let's put it this way, the Switch ain't no PS5.
Very true. In second place, Firelord Hechicero. I believe it's an Avatar The Last Airbender reference.
I think it had the symbols on it, yeah.
And Hechicero apparently plays with fireballs, although he didn't in this show. So, second place. If he played with fireballs in this show, this might have been bumped up a bit. And in first place, which will lead us into our next match, Mariah...
So what you're saying is, Hechicero, play with your fireballs.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. In first place, Mariah May is no understudy.
Damn straight, Shane.
Damn straight. Yeah, I liked it. It's true and leans into the whole movie magic sort of thing. So, good job, whoever did the sign. If that was you, or you know the person and can prove that they have the sign, let us know in the comments or on socials, and we'll send you something as a prize for winning Leanne signs of the pay-per-view. Leanne signs of the pay-per-view. So that leads us into our next match.
What are you, a bloody sat-nav?
Apparently. Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa for the AEW Women's World Championship. Toni's dressed as the Statue of Liberty. It suits her very well, actually. She has the torch to start with and the spiky crown thing. And it's a song, American song. I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
It's an American song. And then the lights go out. Well, she blows the torch out, which is quite impressive because it's not like a little thing.
It's probably got a switch on to cut off gas.
And then the lights go down slightly later because the timing was a bit off. But, you know.
Well, she ain't Bro Wyatt on the White Six.
Nope. And then she's got the belt again after that. She's accompanied by Luther. Something I learned with this match is that there's a tradition in Japanese wrestling to present flowers to the champion and the challenger before the championship match.
Yep.
I didn't know that. So pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And it leads...
They used to do it in WWE, actually, thinking about it.
Oh, did they?
You mentioned it, and I said about Antonio Inoki do it, and I remember they did it when Yokozuna was champion, actually.
Okay.
I remember that. It just popped in my head, actually.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It gives a really good opportunity for Mariah May to not have accompanied either one to the ring, because she's already in the ring, ready to present the flowers. So there's a nice touch with that. She gives them both flowers, and then spends a while trying to decide which corner she's going to leave from, because she doesn't want to show a favourite. So she does manage to sort of just go out the back side, and she goes and sits near commentary, looking very nervous the whole time. The match itself, I think, was really good.
Yeah.
There was some great offense from both competitors, and the way that they used like Mariah's indecision through the match, it didn't affect the match at all, but was really effective just on the outside storyline wise. Mariah's she's doing so good. Just the facial expressions, you could really believe it that she was so torn up by the whole situation. So yeah, really good. Anything from you?
No, it was a decent match. Yeah. Mina looked really strong, considering we've seen a couple of Mina outings, but not a massive amount.
No. But she definitely seemed like a really good match for Toni Storm.
Yes.
Who is pretty strong at the moment. So it didn't feel off balance at all.
No.
Nice and even. Okay, so the finish of this one, Toni Storm hits the Storm Zero and pins Shirakawa to win.
Yeah.
Toni is the victor.
Yeah. In terms of predictions, we both got that one correct. We both predicted Toni to retain.
Yay!
I don't think there's any doubt on that one.
No, there wasn't any doubt. I can't see it of going any other way, to be honest.
Now, kind of circling back around a little bit to Mariah May and what we were talking about earlier with Mariah May and Saraya. Mariah May is obviously in the semi-finals of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, and there's no wild card. So the winner of that tournament will get a shot at the AEW Women's Champion. Obviously, the men's gets the AEW Championship match as well at All In. I have to believe that Mariah May is going to win the tournament.
Yeah, to go against Toni.
Yeah.
At All In.
I thought that they would have, before they announced that this tournament was taking place and the winner would get a shot, I figured it would have been Jamie Hayter.
Yeah.
Would have sort of made a return depending on injury status and whatnot, and she would have fought her at All In instead. That doesn't seem to be the case. There may be a thing for a random, or maybe depending on who wins out of Mercedes Moné and Stephanie Vaquer later on, like whoever is defending those titles, because title for title at All In, maybe then it'll be Jamie Hayter, but who knows?
Who knows? It's all very intriguing.
But it'd be weird not to have, if she's cleared, not to have Jamie Hayter there since she is British.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Jamie Hayter versus Saraya could be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe.
She'd tear Saraya in two.
Yeah, it'd be fun. So after this match, Mariah encourages Toni and Mina to shake hands and then to hug. And then it's a very strange moment as they all kind of reluctantly three-way kiss. Yeah,
it's a bit weird, that.
Really weird. I mean, Mariah wasn't reluctant, but the other two were. It was very strange. But the crowd loved it, and it was a sort of almost keeping the peace thing. Because Mina was the one to put the hand out first for the shake, which I think was probably what was needed to maybe bring the peace, but we will see.
I kind of liken it to, it's that one person who is trying to get their partner or wife or whatever to have a threesome with like their best friend or something.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I liken it to. It's like the Mariah's the guy and it's like, yeah, let's go for it. And then the friend and the wife are just like, that's kind of that's the kind of way I looked at that.
Hey, they can definitely still all be women in this scenario.
Oh, well, but in terms of sort of going from my perspective, but, that's what I kind of liken it to.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a really fun story that we were not expecting to get, but I'm not complaining.
Nope.
Cool. Next match: Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
Wow. This is a good one, wasn't it?
Yes, but it wasn't as good as I was expecting.
Oh, here we go.
I expected more technical stuff.
Fair. Because it was quite technical.
Yes. To an extent. I was expecting a lot more technical stuff from Orange. Yeah. All he seemed to do most of the time was just roll out of the ring. And yes, there's going to be someone watching this going, well, it is technical because you're playing psychology with your opponent. Mm-hmm. It's not what I mean. You go back and watch Bryan Danielson against Zack Sabre Jr. and it's an absolute technical masterclass.
Yeah.
No, I'm not comparing Orange Cassidy to the same level as Bryan Danielson.
Nope.
But he's definitely got some technicality chops on him. Mm-hmm. And I'm a little disappointed that he didn't pull them out.
That's fair. I think so much of the match was seen to be focused on Zack Sabre Jr. knowing Orange Cassidy's tricks.
Yeah.
So Orange Cassidy sort of trying to circumvent that and not do those tricks. So what took the focus?
What would have been better is instead you could do that. That's fine. Sort of focus on not doing those tricks, but do it in a way that you're being technical and using technical ability against Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. would not have seen that coming, and he would have been like, "Oh crap, I got to step up my game." Yeah. And then it could have been an absolute banger.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool because like a lot of the run up was Zack Sabre Jr. sort of not bothering to watch Cassidy's matches because he knows what he's like. He knows everything he does. Yep. So if Cassidy just changed it up completely and just did a straight technical wrestling match, it would have...
And that's the thing, is like Orange Cassidy's like, oh, I'll make sure you know who I am at the end of this and all this kind of stuff. And then Zack Sabre Jr. is like, well, I already know all your tricks anyway. And what came to pass? Zack Sabre knew all his tricks. And Orange Cassidy didn't do anything to prove him wrong.
Yeah, he just didn't put his hands in his pockets all the time. I did laugh at commentary on this one. But
I digress.
So the comment was made that wrestling used to be the sport of kings until Orange Cassidy came along.
Yeah.
And granted, Orange Cassidy changed the game quite a bit. He like brought a whole different element into it.
Yeah.
Made it something different. But I would argue that wrestling stopped being the sport of kings somewhere around the gobbledygooker. Somewhere around there, it stopped being it stopped being the civilized, sophisticated sport of kings.
Okay, let's just train right this. We don't talk about the gobbledygooker. Let's just take that, chuck it over here, into that bin where you nearly set me on fire when you burnt the sign. Was it last year?
Memories.
So I'm just gonna imaginary lighter. There goes the gobbledygooker.
We will never speak.
Let's never speak of that again.
But I'm right though.
No. You do, and we're gonna have a problem.
But I'm right though. I'm correct. You can't argue with that.
And this is why our videos run long, folks. She keeps bringing up the damn gobbledygooker.
Hey, you've said it more times than me. Any more comments before the finish?
No.
Okay. Zack Sabre Jr. gets Cassidy in some kind of submission thing where all his limbs are tied up.
Yeah.
Every single limb is Cassidy just like there's no way out. No way out at all. So he verbally submits.
Yeah.
Quite quickly after that last leg gets caught.
Yeah. Into the predictions, we both predicted ZSJ to win, and we both got that one correct.
Yay.
In terms of Zack Sabre Jr. showing what he does, or ZSJ, there is a whole spiel where he'll get someone in submission, he'll hold it for 5 seconds, he'll transition to another one, he'll hold it for 5 seconds, he'll transition. We didn't see any of that.
No. It was a bit like, with that final one, it was a bit like he had both arms, and then he had a leg, and then he had the other leg.
And then the other leg.
So it's sort of almost, but it's not transitioning as much as adding on, I suppose.
Yeah, it's completely different.
Yeah.
So I feel that this match had very high potential, and it just kind of went, oh.
Yeah.
And I feel disappointed for Zack Sabre Jr. because I know he can put on much better shows. Much better shows than that.
Yeah. Aw, that's a shame. I don't want to keep it on a downer, so we're going to move on to the next match. Samoa Joe, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata versus Chris Jericho, Big Bill, the Learning Tree, and Jeff Cobb.
Yep.
It was quite fun. I enjoyed this one.
Yes.
The storytelling was just great.
Yep.
Big Bill's just comedic at this point, which I know is exactly what he's going for. He's so different to the persona that he had before.
Yeah.
Which is great. Really great talent on show. There were even some "You Still Got It" chants for Chris Jericho, and they were countered by other chants, but it was nice to see a bit of positivity thrown his way instead of the constant negativity.
Yeah.
So
hi guys.
He's so fun. He's so. This gimmick is, I think, probably perfect for where he is in his career as well, because he is like teaching.
Yes.
He's sort of making a bit of light at the fact that he is further on in his career.
Yeah. But
he's still getting a chance to showcase what he can still do.
And you know what else he is? For the world.
He's for the world's champion.
I do wonder how long Jericho's got left in his career, in his wrestling career, because no doubt, like, if you wanted to, he could be a manager, he could go into commentary, he's great in commentary, he could do a number of things in the industry, be an agent in the back, whatever.
Yeah.
But I wonder how long he's got left in him in the ring. So obviously, the amount of bumps you take, everyone's got a bump card, everyone's got a finite number of bumps,
Definitely. But part of me worries that he's going to be defying those crowd members that are yelling, please retire, and try and keep going as long as.
And that's the problem, is that the more people are going to do that, the more he's going to prove them right. That's probably going to be the downfall of that.
So it is a bit worrying, but I'm sure he's got his own best interests at heart, and has people that love him also with his interests at heart that will help steer him in a good direction. But for now, keep going. It's great. I'm loving it. We do have some interference from Brief? Brian Keith somehow turned into Brief.
The bounty hunter Brief. No, that's what people give the bounty hunter
a brief
when they're giving him a mark, right?
That's not two words that I would ever think I could accidentally merge, but oh well. Brian Keith does interfere briefly with some distractions, but it's another kind of inconsequential kind of interference.
You say brief one more time and I'm walking off this video.
Briefly is written. That's probably how I did it.
Continue.
Oh, anything to add before we get to the finish on this one?
I did feel much like it's one of the other matches about it was a slow start, but when it did sort of pick up and get the pace going, it was like, oof, okay, this is good.
Definitely.
One thing I will say, and it doesn't really in the finish yet, but I'll say that there wasn't enough Jeff Cobb for my liking.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Jeff Cobb is an absolute monster.
Mm-hmm.
I still think he should have had a singles match on this card after throwing out a challenge. I feel that they kind of dropped the ball a little bit with that one.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not complete AEW marks. We rag on AEW a lot because it is merited. But
it deserves it.
We will also put AEW down when we think something's done wrong, and this was done wrong in my mind.
Yeah.
And
I agree on
obviously we had that we didn't talk about on the prediction video because it happened on, I think it was Rampage.
Yeah.
Or Dynamite, whatever, I can't remember when it was now, but it was Minoru Suzuki, and they had that package on the screen, and he was like, "No, I'm going to face you 1-on-1 for your FTW title."
What happened to that? I'd love to see that.
I don't understand where they were going with that.
Unless it's going to be at another show.
Maybe
it's going to be at, was it Dynasty?
Dynasty was in April. Next pay-per-view is All In.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe we'll get Minoru Suzuki at All In. That'd be pretty sick.
Really?
But yeah, I mean, we'll see where we go with that, but it just feels a bit of a wasted opportunity.
Yeah.
I want to see the Murder Grandpa. Damn it.
Yeah. I agree. There was a lot of Big Bill, Chris Jericho, and when Jeff Cobb got in, it was like a couple of things, and then he tagged back out kind of stuff, which is a shame.
I want to see Samoa Joe challenge for that TV title. Yeah. Samoa Joe and Jeff Cobb would be a banger.
That would be. They did have some face-off, didn't they? They were. I'm pretty sure. Did they face off in the ring?
They did.
I'm sure
they
did.
They did.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Didn't last long enough though.
No. Right. So Hook has the red rum on Jericho, and Joe and Shibata have Bill and Cobb tied up.
Yeah.
On the outside.
I think they had sleepers of their own as well.
Jericho escapes, but Hook then manages to hit a T-bone, followed by insult to injury, Judas effect, and then pins Jericho to win.
Cheeky bastard.
It was perfect. It was a perfect way to end.
I could have seen him lining up and then he spun. I was like, what?
Hit him with his own move. Yes. Yep. Perfect.
Judas effect for Judas.
Mm-hmm. So Samoa Joe, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata win.
In terms of predictions, you predicted the Learning Tree to win.
Yeah.
So you got that one incorrect. I predicted Team Samoa Joe to win, and I got that one correct.
Can't win them all.
This kind of just leads now into Hook pinning the FTW champion, and he will get a title match because he's pinned the champion.
Yeah.
So that's the way I saw it, and that's the way I've always seen it coming into this match, is that if there's a 6-man, Hook will get the pin on Jericho.
Fair.
And it'll lead into to a rematch for that title.
So you got that big picture thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, it's a cool match. Stuff's happening.
Like I'm booking the pay-per-view next to the end of next month with Mariah May and Toni Storm and all these other bits and pieces in the works. You know?
Thinking ahead.
I'm just going.
I haven't got the brain capacity for that. I can't even think ahead in my own life. Oh, okay, let's think ahead to the next match. I can do that.
Wow.
So this is the ladder match for the TNT Championship. We've got Mark Briscoe, Leo Rush, Konosuke Takeshita, Dante Martin, El Phantasmo, and Jack Perry. So, yes, I'm trying to remember. The last entrant into this match that we didn't know when we did the predictions was El Phantasmo.
Mm-hmm. He beat AR Fox on Rampage for the last position.
Mm-hmm. But it didn't change our predictions.
Nope.
So all good.
As much as I would have, slight spoiler, I would have loved to have seen El Phantasmo win this match. Yeah, it didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen. This was chaos.
Oh, it was chaos. It was great.
Non-stop action.
So good. I literally on my notes put sick bumps for all.
Sick bumps. And many people probably made the observation of the two different types of ladders. That you had the sturdier black ladders were clearly for climbing, and then you had the flimsy silver ladders.
Let's use the term not as sturdy.
Not as sturdy.
I wouldn't call them flimsy because it's still metal and it's still gonna hurt.
They buckle easy though. Those silver ones. They were for bashing with, or bashing into, or jumping onto, for them to smash into pieces.
Or throwing into.
They didn't last very long, which you'd imagine with Mark Briscoe hanging about, he's going to be causing some chaos with ladders, which he did. I've written that having the different ladders that are easy to identify helps minimize the risk while maximizing carnage. So Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? They're very obvious that they're different ladders and they're being used for different things, but safety first, right?
Yep.
We're in the ladder match. I enjoyed, like, at the opening of the match, everyone gangs up on Jack Perry immediately. As soon as he's out, the rest of them gang up against Takeshita.
Yep.
So it's clear the two biggest threats who they are.
Well, Takeshita's the biggest man in the match. Yes.
Jack Perry's just the person everyone is disliking because he's aligned with the elite. He is elite. Yeah, it was really fun. There's a lot of sort of storytelling in the match, and chaos, carnage, hella bumps, good stuff.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah. Much like I've said with some of the other matches, some of the New Japan guys kind of got outshined a bit in the sense that they didn't get used much. And I'm going to say again, El Phantasmo.
Yeah. No, I agree.
When I found out that he was the last man in this ladder match, I was so stoked, but we didn't really see him do much, which sucks. It really sucks.
What he did was good, but yeah, a bit sparser potentially than the other players in the game.
Like Leo Rush had more of an outing than the LP, and yes, he's a New Japan guy, but he wasn't bred in New Japan. He was in Ring of Honor. I think he did stay in Impact Wrestling. He's in WWE for a bit. You know,
he's small.
Yeah. And like the one thing I love about Leo Rush is we always get the guys going, oh, Leo Rush is like up the ladder, and it's like
so quick.
Whoa!
You still can't get the thing, but he like whizzes up there. Okay then. So Briscoe nearly gets it. It's sort of that bit where they deliberately stand one rung too low and they're reaching. Yeah. And they're like, just go one step up.
One rung up the ladder.
You were literally standing on the very top of ladders to dive off them. Why can't you go one rung up so you can grab it? Anyway, while this is happening, Jack Perry pushes the ladder over on top of him, then grabs a chair and is hitting Briscoe with the chair, like through the ladder.
Yeah.
Hitting the ladder onto him.
Yeah.
Extra impact.
That was great.
And then literally walks on him on his way to the ladder, climbs up. Jack Perry grabs the belt and wins. He's the new TNT champion.
We predicted Jack Perry to win that one, so we both got that one correct.
Yeah, bit of an easy one.
And
right?
I'm going to say this, and there's going to be a mixed camp on this one. Jack Perry deserves it.
I think so.
All that crap he had to go through with CM Punk.
And since then, he's completely changed the character. He used that. But I think we talked when he was being Jungle Boy, and like he probably needs a change about now.
Yeah.
And then this whole thing goes down, and he used it, and he made it his driving force, and became something entirely different. And it's so natural and organic, and it just works.
I can't help but wonder how much of that is the influence of New Japan. Because obviously he went to New Japan for a bit.
Yeah, that would have been a huge influence.
He turned up, he beat down Shota. He ripped his contract for AEW up. Joins House of Torture.
Yeah.
So he's being sort of led by Evil and Kanemaru and Sho and all them guys. Evil is obviously and if you ever see a House of Torture match, that you're guaranteed at least two things, okay? Ref bump.
Yeah.
Major interference. Guaranteed with every House of Torture match.
Sweet.
And that's exactly what happened with Jack Perry when he's in House of Torture. And I was hoping that we can yet to see any House of Torture members appear at Forbidden Door, any of the events. And I was really hoping at some point the lights would drop when Jack Perry looked like he was in trouble. Boom, they come back on. There's Evil, there's Sho, there's Kanemaru, there's all the House of Torture, and they just beat everyone up in the match. And I thought that would have been sick.
Yeah, it would. It's a bit like a lot of things in life where it's a horrible situation that Jack Perry went through, but without it, he wouldn't be what he is at this point in time.
And it was nice that some of the crowd started trying to chanting CM Punk. They tried to get the CM Punk chant off, and then the other half of the crowd were going F CM Punk instead.
Yeah,
and it drowned it out, and it was like, oh, that's okay. This is how we're doing this. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, I think there's been a couple of occasions recently where CM Punk chants have been either booed out or other things. It's great. I mean, we just want to forget about
Let's just
that
move on
chapter,
now.
you know?
Yeah, let's just move on.
And that's a good idea. Let's move on to the next match. So this is a title versus title match between Stephanie Vaquer and Mercedes Moné.
Yeah.
So the two titles on the line are Mercedes TBS Championship and Stephanie's New Japan Strong Women's Championship.
Yeah.
We talked quite a lot on our predictions about the background to this, so check that out if you haven't already, because we don't want to rehash the same stuff.
Okay, I've got to get this right off the bat. I've got to get this in. I think you know what I'm going to talk about already.
Go for it.
Mercedes Moné grew up idling as Eddie Guerrero.
Yes.
Right? She's done the Eddie Guerrero shuffle, the whole, numerous times. What the hell did she do at Forbidden Door?
It was real.
Because that was not the Eddie shuffle.
So this
what the hell was that?
I know. It kind of ties into what I've got as well.
So what the hell was that?
The
Eddie's rolling in his grave over.
To sort of lead into that, the crowd was dead. This match was disappointing. The crowd was dead. They started.
Let me just interject. It was disappointing on 50% of the participants' half. behalf.
They were chanting something about the football team. I think we worked out they were talking about
the Red Sox suck.
Because that's where...
She's from Boston. It's the Boston Red Sox. So they're trying to get under her skin.
So, and it was working. You could see something about her...
She was rattled.
Clicked. It changed. Her face dropped. It was actually really obvious that she was upset by it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes to do the Eddie Shuffle, and there's no effort.
No.
It's like literally just she moves her arms a little bit.
It was awful. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
It's like...
That's basically just spitting in the legacy of Eddie Guerrero. If you're going to pay a tribute to him, do it right.
Yeah.
That really annoyed me.
I understand that the crowd has such an effect on a wrestler in the ring. It really can. They can build you up or they can break you down. But you've got to be professional.
Sorry.
It's really hard. I'm thinking about Jericho as well, with the constant...
Hi, guys!
The constant, like, please retire chants happening.
Yeah.
And it doesn't faze him. It probably does inside, I imagine, but he doesn't let it show on the outside. He carries on.
Do you know why?
He does the match because he's a professional.
Because of professionalism. I'm gonna just because we need to move on because we're gonna. Yeah. But do you know who else would have got booed at the building randomly and would have taken it all in his stride?
Who?
Eddie Guerrero.
Oh yeah.
Guaranteed,
That's
right?
Really
if the crowd had flipped on him like that, he would have embraced it.
Yeah.
He would have built it into the psychology of the match, and he would have made it look like $1 million.
Use it. Use that. She should have used that shuffle to defy the crowd and be like, you know what? You might not be into this, but I am here and I am doing this.
And I'm doing this because she's always said that Eddie Guerrero's her inspiration.
Yeah.
She's doing this technically for Eddie because that's her inspiration.
Mm-hmm. So I do feel for her, but in that moment, she didn't react the way she should have. And I bet she regrets it. She's probably watching tape back and being like, I can't believe that. So hopefully it'll just be a blip. I think she's gotten so used to being really hyped up by crowds.
She's gotten used to everyone kissing her ass.
Yeah.
Let's be perfectly honest.
So it probably hit her really hard.
And I kind of hope that this is the shot in the arm that, or I guess it's not, the realization that Tony Khan needed to say, oh, what have I done spending all the money on this person? We really need to start doing something more. Yeah. This was like her third match. Yeah. And she has 2 belts.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Mental. Absolutely mental.
Stupid. She should have never won that title from Willow.
No. She shouldn't have won this one.
No.
Spoilers.
Oh, spoilers. Jesus.
No, let's go back to it. Oh, yeah. I mean, even before the crowd died, the reason they died was the lackluster performance from Monet, in my opinion.
It felt like Stephanie was putting her heart and soul into the match.
Oh, yeah.
And Monet was just going,
she's very good at, like, being graceful and, like, being a bit, like, floaty, and which lends itself to the sort of more, I guess, acrobatic nature of wrestling. But she should never try and hit a punch because her arms are like sticks and it just looks so weak.
She also needs to stop dancing to her theme song because she has no rhythm and can't keep beat.
Yeah, she can't.
Just saying.
Has the stream gone out of sync? No, it has not. No, she just can't.
She just has no rhythm.
So it's a real shame. Stephanie Vicker has the look and the attitude and just the presence in the ring, as well as the ability. The little amount that I feel like I got to enjoy just made me want to see more.
Yeah.
And that's actually, to be able to pull that off and get my attention while in the ring with someone who I don't think had their full effort into it.
I mean, it's someone you've technically watched for a number of years.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sasha Banks. No Mercedes Moné.
But she was better with Sasha Banks. Something happened.
It's because the match styles in AEW were very different to WWE.
Yeah, that's very true. It is very different. So it was, this was a disappointing match, and it's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I do want to see Stephanie a bit more.
Yeah. And speaking of unfortunate and crappy,
which we've already spoiled it.
Let's talk about the finish.
What a weird finish! Oh my goodness! So Mercedes gets Stephanie in the moneymaker, and Stephanie taps immediately. I think she just wanted it to be over and done.
I think Is the moneymaker the one where she has her back and flips her over, and then because in WWE it would have been the backstabber, then the bank statement.
Oh goodness!
I think the moneymaker. I don't know if it's all one move now. I'm not entirely certain. I'm not that invested in Mercedes Moné, but I think the moneymaker is when she has her on her back and flips and hits her on the floor.
Maybe it's that.
But it might be the transition as well. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
She's in the submission that comes after that one.
The old bank statement from WWE.
Bank statement. Yeah, and Stephanie taps immediately, which felt.
That deflated me quite hard.
I mean, even if she held on a little bit and sold it, but I don't know. Maybe that was Stephanie's choice. Or
maybe she was like, this match needs to end now.
It could have been the direction she was given to make Mercedes look strong. I don't know what it was, but the finish just felt like I mean, it's hard to have an anticlimax after that match.
And the crowd booed hard.
Yeah, they were not enjoying it. And Monet is holding the championships, and if you could see in her face, she couldn't even. And
she's got her music playing, celebrate. And she's holding him, and she's like looking like a kid with what
candy.
The hell are you doing? And then her music cuts off, and she's still there, and it's like, can you just go out the ring now? And then
it's Britt Baker.
DMD is back.
She's back, and she very clearly is after other titles, and I really hope she gets them very soon.
I'm wondering if injecting her into the TBS title instead of the world title or any other sort of feud is Tony Khan realizing, well, we might not have as big a hit as we thought with Mercedes Moné, and we need someone to shine her. And Britt Baker is literally one of the best women in the business today, hands down.
I mean, what a card to have in your back pocket when you've got this match happening and it's going so badly, and you're like, don't worry, we'll get him back. Send Britt.
And she looks incredible.
She, like, I don't know what she's done with her abs. That's like I don't know.
You could wash your clothes on those things. Damn.
Do not skip ab day.
Jesus.
Jeez, great. She looks amazing, and I can't wait to see her back in the ring because she's always been good.
There was an after segment thing on one of the social media channels where they try getting an interview with her, and she said, "I've got a lot to say, and I'm going to say it on Dynamite."
Okay, look forward to Dynamite.
Yeah. In terms of predictions, you had that as your desired result for Stephanie for Curse. You did not get that correct. You take a bye on that one. I picked Mercedes to win because I didn't think there was any way Stephanie was going to win it, so I got that correct.
Cool. We have a single piece of filler. It's an ad for Wrestle Dynasty.
Yeah, the day after Wrestle Kingdom. Yeah,
January 5th, I believe, 2025.
Yes. Yeah, Wrestle Kingdom always happens on January 4th.
In the Tokyo Dome. So it's a bit like having a two-night WrestleMania.
Effectively, yeah. So obviously Wrestle Kingdom is just New Japan. Wrestle Dynasty is New Japan, CMLL, AEW, Stardom. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
It's going to be a fun couple days. Right in the new year.
Wrestle Kingdom's always great.
We've probably just gone back to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So after that single piece of filler, our next match is Tetsuya Naito versus Jon Moxley for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. So this is under New Japan rules.
Yep.
Which, from what I gathered, is a 60-minute time limit.
Correct.
20-second countouts.
Correct.
And the championship can change hands through DQ or countout.
Correct.
I don't know if there's more rules, but those are the ones that were mentioned by the commentators. Is good. It was entertaining, really entertaining. We got Red Shoes as the ref.
Yeah.
Who's like the ref in New Japan.
I love Red Shoes.
He's really good. He's got such a presence, but also like is only seen when you need to see him.
You need to see him refereeing a House of Torture match. It's hilarious.
I bet. It's hard hitting. It was really exciting. My one foible? What's the word? The one downside, Moxley did not bleed.
Doesn't have to bleed in every match, Leanne.
Yes, he does. It's Jon Moxley.
All the internet wrestling in the IWC, the wrestling community is like, my God, Jon Moxley didn't even bleed. Was that even a match?
He got brief and Joxley.
Hey, at least mine made more sense. Just want to point that out.
Brief.
If I go to a wrestling fan and say, do you know who Joxley is? They're going to be like, Jon Moxley?
Yeah.
If you go to someone and go, do you know who Brief is? They're going to be like, isn't that what the wrestlers wear in the ring?
Fair. I take the criticism. This match was crazy. There was a lot outside the ring, in the ring. Moxley tried to introduce chairs a couple of times. So the first time, he throws a chair into the ring and then goes to get another one. And by the time he gets into the ring, you got Naito just sat on the chair, just folded arms, watching it. Like,
I kind of saw the chair slide in. I was like, I really hope Naito puts that up and just sits on it. And that's exactly what happened.
And the next time the chair's introduced, Red Shoes is like trying to get it off him. And he's like holding it. He takes
it off, he's hugging the chair.
It's my chair. It's so good. The facial expressions, just everything. It's the way he can react to a wrestler, showing that he is terrified of the guy, but he knows he's got to get that chair off him.
Yeah. I love that.
Really good. This is a great match.
Superb.
Both these guys incredible, and just a really good pairing. They had amazing chemistry together.
Yeah.
Good. And no blood.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's neither of these guys is flippy or fast or anything. It was just slugfest, and it was psychology as well. There's a lot of psychology going on, which is great.
Yes, love a bit of psychology. Anything else?
Nope.
All right.
Just more Red Shoes, please.
More Red Shoes, less blood, more chairs, less chairs.
Don't you mean more blood?
I don't
You're
know.
upset Moxley didn't bleed, and then you're calling for less blood. There was no blood.
Time,
how can you get any less blood than no blood?
It's probably. I started thinking it's probably a good thing he's not bleeding, because it can't be good for you to bleed every match.
No,
it's fine.
No, he's probably had about 17 transfusions in the last month alone.
I've come to terms, and I'm at peace with the fact that Moxley didn't bleed. I'm fine. This is okay.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. So the finish, Naito hits the Destino
twice
on Moxley, twice, and pins him for the win. So Naito retains the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship and does not give up his spot. That one.
Yeah, she hasn't seen that at LHI, so when all the members are out, they do the thing like that, and then they do the same in Touch Fists. It's like a
Touch Fists.
Like
That's
when you
cute.
do that, and then it's not like that, but
yes.
with fists instead.
Aww,
yeah.
Like
in terms of predictions, we both predicted Tetsuya Naito to regain the title, and we were both correct.
I guess regain, not retain.
That's it.
Retain, regain.
Regain, because Moxley when you retain something, you keep a hold of it.
I know, for some reason I thought you already had it, but he didn't.
No, Moxley had the title, Naito, yeah, because Moxley beat Naito at Windy City Riot in April for it.
You always set me straight. It's great.
I try.
Oh, guess what, Alan?
It's time for the main event.
So many matches. We got Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay for the AEW World Championship.
Know that chant that WWE keeps blanking out?
Yes.
That.
Oh yeah, a lot of it.
That.
Oh, great. So, okay, let's start with the bad bit. The bad bit.
Oh no, I think I know where you're going with this.
So, when Swerve's doing his entrance, some rapper comes out called Jim Jones, which is hilarious, by the way.
And problematic.
He comes out and he's
Don't drink the Kool-Aid, kids. All right? If anyone named Jim Jones comes to you and says, do you want some Kool-Aid? Just say no.
Just say no. He's out and he's like, I'm a rapper, I'm Jim Jones, and here's Swerve. And then Swerve comes out and Swerve's music plays. And that's it. Why are you here, Jim? Why? I get maybe you're famous. Are you from here? I don't know. But
I wonder if that's his real name or if he's done that to kind of impact from
I would not be
Jim
surprised.
Jones.
No offense, doesn't look like a Jim. It's James. Jim's usually short for, isn't it?
Correct.
Weirdly.
Correct.
I guess he could be a James. It's like what's the point?
Yeah,
there wasn't like a big pop when he came out. I don't know. It's probably.
I think everyone was like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
I'm like,
I was
Jim Jones. I don't know.
It's like Jim Jones. Wait, didn't he die? Didn't he? Oh, wait. Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, Jim Jones was a cult leader who basically murdered 900 people in the span of a couple of hours.
Yeah, if you're into like cults and stuff, look it up. It's fascinating.
It's one of the most horrific cults in humanity's
Here's the
history.
conspiracy, though. Usually, if a rapper goes on a wrestling show, he does some rapping.
Not Jim Jones.
Why are you here? Anyway. The match itself was stupendous.
Banger.
The pacing...
Actually, no, it wasn't a banger. It was a nuclear explosion.
The pacing of it. You had really slow and methodical moments, and they ramped up to just insane high speed stuff, and then they just go down again. And
peaks and troughs, yeah.
Artfully done, I think I'd say.
It was
good.
It was like you'd have like an arm bar or something on the ground, and then all of a sudden this high explosive move just hits, and it's like, the hell did that come from? Uh-huh. And then they're going back to the ground and pound stuff, and it's like, oh my god, I can't keep up.
Yeah. It's like, this was, not gonna lie, this was a very long show, and I was
4 hours, not including pre-show.
But you couldn't lose attention on this match because it just kept pulling you back in with just the peaks and troughs of it, which I'm sure is done deliberately, and you know, this is their craft, and both these guys, Swerve and Will Ospreay, are amazing.
And they've known each other for a long time. That's there's no qualms about that. They've known each other for a long time.
Chemistry.
Yeah.
And Jim Jones didn't hang around, so it's fine.
Would you rather drink Kool-Aid or Prime?
It depends. Do I know whether or not there's cyanide in the Kool-Aid?
No.
Do I know if there's cyanide in the Prime?
Does it matter? It's Prime.
Well, if it's free and I'm not putting money in certain people's pockets, then...
But it would. That's the problem.
But if someone else has already done it...
Kool-Aid, 24/7, 365.
Depends if the rapper Jim Jones is about. Anyway, anything else you want to say about the match?
The ref stuff was good.
Yeah? We'll get to the ref stuff right now, shall we?
Yeah, okay. I think so, yeah. I mean, as you say, it was oh wait, I'm reading my wrong notes, sorry, hang on. No, the holy bleep, that was awesome. Match of the year contender. Yep. There was ref stuff, which was great, obviously.
I will talk about ref stuff.
Yeah.
Part of the finish, because it's a bit of a
we don't want to sort of, we've already gone longer than we anticipated.
Sorry.
But we don't want to sort of go to the nitty gritty of the match itself.
Yeah.
If you watch one match from this card, this should be it.
But really, you should watch a few matches.
Oh, you should watch the entire thing. Yeah. You should literally watch the entire thing. It was so good.
Just skip Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, maybe not that. That's your pee break match, okay? Go make yourself some food when Mercedes Moné comes out. Depending on what you're cooking, by the time that's done, she's probably effed off in the back somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Ospreay accidentally hits the ref with the hidden blade. It's a hell of a ref bump. While the ref is out, Don Callis is trying to get Ospreay to use the screwdriver. Prince Nana attacks Don Callis, which is hilarious.
And we use that word loosely.
Ospreay gets mad and threatens Prince Nana with the screwdriver, but then he sees reasons, figures out what he's doing, and decides not to. But this whole distraction has meant that Swerve has been able to recover. So once Ospreay gets back in the ring, Swerve hits him with the house call.
Yeah.
And then the Swerve stomp. Ospreay does kick out.
Yeah.
But after a bit more punishment, Swerve hits the house call again, and then big pressure, and pins Ospreay to win. Swerve is still the champion.
Retains the championship.
Retains.
Oh my god, it was such a great match. So it was like, and you're kind of saying like halfway, or I say halfway through, maybe three quarters of the way through, are they kicking out too many finishers? And I'm like, well, not really. If you look at the way different things were being moved, like the hidden blade, Swerve was blocking it.
Yeah.
And there was different ways to block certain moves. Yeah. And there was a point where Will Ospreay hit that hidden blade on him, and Swerve gets his arms up, and he's like, my arms, because he obviously he hit him in his arms and his forearms, you know. And it's that whole psychology and the storytelling of it. So it's. I feel that was it, and obviously he hit one on the outside, but he couldn't get him in the ring quick enough, which gives Ospreay more time to recover. And there's a lot of more into it. It's not like, they're just kicking out of moves for the sake of kicking out of moves. There was a lot more to it in that aspect.
Yeah, definitely. How do we do?
We both predicted Swerve to retain, and we were both correct.
Yay!
And I did see after the match, Kyle Fletcher came out and obviously helped Will Ospreay to the back on one of the social media thing. Kyle Fletcher's trying to console Will Ospreay, and he tells the cameraman to get lost, basically, because he's trying to console... Well, Will Ospreay is being consoled by Kyle Fletcher, and Will Ospreay tells the cameraman to bugger off. So I'm no doubt there will be some sort of fallout on Dynamite on Wednesday night, but obviously Will Ospreay needs to face Daniel Garcia next for that international championship.
Ooh, that could be interesting. All right, so that's Forbidden Door.
Yeah. As is practice, we will now pick our most our favorite and least favorite matches. We're going to start with favorite match because I think I know what we're going to pick already.
Swerve
and Ospreay, without a shadow of a doubt. And it's come to the point, like, we'd had a long day in work, and we would, like, the whole thing was like 5.5 hours long, start to finish, and we were flagging hard. We've had to record the next day because there was just not enough time in the day.
It was like almost 11 o'clock by the time we finished watching it.
Yeah, and it was nuts. And it was like, oh God, I'm usually sort of heading to bed at this point. But as soon as this match sort of hit, it was like, whoa, I'm awake. What the hell?
It's like a can of Red Bull.
It's like a shot of adrenaline, yeah. I get the feeling then I actually know the next one as well. Your least favourite match?
It's obvious, isn't it? It's
Mercedes and Stephanie Vaquer. Yeah, unfortunately.
I'm just going to say my least favourite match was Mercedes Monet.
Anything with Mercedes, yeah. And it's a shame because Stephanie Vaquer really did show out. She showed up. She did a great job. Just Mercedes Monet just dropped the ball big time. And it just sucked on that half of things, which is awful.
Yep.
And definitely. She shouldn't be walking around holding 2 belts.
No.
Even though Stephanie Vaquer still has 2 titles, she came out with all 3 of her belts. Don't ask me the other 2; I couldn't tell you. But yeah, no.
Yeah, not right. In general, I did enjoy this show, but it was a bit too long for me.
It's about the standard length for all AEW pay-per-views, though.
Yeah, I think not having filler is a good thing, but it also means you don't sort of get a reprieve. Yeah. So it's like constant. So it's quite exhausting.
You have to pause to go and get a cup of tea or whatever.
I know, and maybe I'm getting older. But I could do with like a couple less matches in there now, maybe, please. Thank you.
Or we just need to start earlier somehow. Just put them back to Saturday, Tony Khan, and then we won't have an issue.
We can have the whole day. It'll be great. Yes, put them back to Saturday.
Cool.
Any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, absolute banger, top to bottom. Like I said earlier on, some of the New Japan guys didn't really get a chance to show out as much as I would have liked. Al Fantasmo, Jeff Cobb. Shingo Takagi had a great showing. Naito had a great showing. So there was a bit of ups and downs on that, and I feel that I mean, even the Hiroshi Tanahashi, I don't feel had a great showing.
No.
But
maybe they'll get more of an in when they do. Was it Wrestle Kingdom?
Wrestle Dynasty. Wrestle Kingdom's the New Japan one.
Right. Because then it's sort of more on their home turf a bit.
It's in the Tokyo Dome. That place is huge.
Yeah, so it might be the tables are turned the other way a little bit.
I hope so. I really do hope so. It would have been nice to see. Obviously, we had Jon Moxley win the IWGP Champion from Naito back in April in the New Japan event. It would have been nice to see a New Japan guy win a title from AEW. Yeah. Have El Fantasma win the ladder match, and then Jack Perry beats him for it on Dynamite in a couple of weeks or something. I think that would have been cool. We've yet to see anything like that. We've not seen an outsider win an AEW title and take it back to their home turf, like Moxley did with the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. So that was that. So what's next on our retinue for wrestling videos, Leanne?
It's Money in the Bank.
WWE's Money in the Bank coming up this coming weekend.
Goodness me.
Yeah. So our predictions will be out, I want to say tomorrow. Depending on time, it'll be either tomorrow or the next day. Yeah. But we'll be up in the next couple of days. Yep. There will be an unboxing as well. We're just waiting for it to arrive. So once that's arrived, we'll be able to unbox that, and there'll be an unboxing going up as well. If it arrives tomorrow and we are doing Money in the Bank tomorrow, I might wait until Thursday. I don't want to put 2 videos up in one day. I don't overload people.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else? Take it away, Leanne.
Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate you. As always, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified when we drop new videos. You can follow us on our socials. Our link tree's in the description below, which will take you to Instagram, Facebook, and X. You can talk to us there or in the comments below. Let us know your thoughts. What do you think's going to happen next with Mariah May? That might be interesting.
I'm more interested right now with Will Ospreay.
Yeah, that you can predict that too. Tell us your thoughts. And I think that's about it. So we will see you for our predictions for Money in the Bank. If you join us for that. I know some people don't watch the WWE stuff, which is fine.
If you don't watch that, we'll be back with our all-in predictions at some point in August.
At some point. So yeah, until next time.
Keep that forbidden door wide open.
Bye.
Club.